Hi, Danica is live from the show floor, Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Danica, lucky you. You've managed to travel into Barcelona, into Spain. Before we get on talking about the show itself, just tell us about the journey from the US to Spain.
Yeah, it was very uneventful, luckily for me. So that was great. So I started out in Kansas City and I went to Chicago. The worst part was there were thunderstorms in Chicago. So the weather had some slight delays, but besides that, I made all my connections and had no problems getting into Spain. All I needed was a QR code from the health department and my passport. So the entry is open for U.S. citizens into Spain. Now, before the show was started, they did have a way that exhibitors and attendees could get into Spain with an essential visa.
Excellent, thank you. And obviously, you're standing in the venue hall. Just bring to life how exciting it is for you. I know you've been to a few shows in the States, but how exciting is it to go to an international show?
It is so exciting. So I am standing right here in the 4 years from now area, which is the startup area. This is the 7th year of this part of the event, and it's usually held in a separate location. Mostly because it was sold out here. All 8 halls were sold out, and so now they have 3 halls, about 1,000 exhibitors versus the 2,500 that they normally have. So about a third of the size. Which is, obviously was to be expected. There were several companies that, still have travel bans in place and the planning took place so far in advance that they just were not able to commit. So this area has been really, moving it to the show floor has just really created a lot of buzz over here. A lot of entrepreneurs, investors, startups. It's been really crowded in this area the whole time.
And from the feedback, the people that you've spoken to, both the visitors and exhibitors and sponsors, give us a sense about how happy they were to be back at a physical trade show.
So I think everybody who is here is so thrilled to be back face to face. The energy and excitement is, everyone is expressing that to me. They're happy to be here. They're happy to be face to face. That, as a marketing channel, face to face offers, the best way to win business.
Just remind us the name of the venue and where actually it is, and then just talk us through some of the differences this year maybe to previous years.
Sure. So we're at the Fiera de Barcelona in Barcelona, Spain, and this has been the home for Mobile World Congress for a number of years. Don't know the exact number of years, but they've been a partner with the city for a number of years. And it is I interviewed earlier today Christoph Tesmar, who is the director of the Convention Bureau, and Mobile World Congress is the largest event in the city every year with about 110,000 attendees in a normal year.
Sure, because actually it's quite interesting. There's definitely a unique sort of relationship between, I guess, the Spanish government and this particular show. And obviously I know they work closely together, right, to actually make sure that it could be put on in a safe way.
Yes, they have a public-private partnership. And so they worked very closely together to make sure that the show, was able to go off as planned and, gave them assurances and worked with them on the health and safety measures for the show.
So take us through some of those measures that might be a little bit different from previous years.
Yeah. So one of the big things is masks are required in the convention center, and it has to be a particular kind of mask. It is one of these right here. So everybody must have one. And if you don't, in the back, there is a line that you can go buy one, or a vending machine that you can buy one for €4. And they also have digital badges. They've had digital badges in the past, but this year there was not an option in terms of no paper badges at all, and so that it would be contactless. And with your digital badge, your COVID-19 test is also tied to your badge. So on my badge, there's a QR code that's scanned on the way in every morning. They also have facial recognition at the front door. And so you can, breeze through that line quickly without having to stop and hold your badge in front of a scanner. So it just runs you past. There are also temperature screenings, daily temperature screenings out here. They're right over here, right before they get into the building. They have to have temperature scans to get in. And then social distancing is still also being observed in the hall. There are community agents walking around with the building, reminding people to separate. And so those are really the key things.
Okay, and they're offering testing on site as well. Is that correct?
They are offering testing on site. You can either upload a negative test to the app, which I did as well. Before I traveled, I took a COVID test on the day of travel and uploaded those results, and therefore I had access to the show without going to registration at all. It showed on my badge that I was valid for another 24 hours, but I have taken 2 COVID tests on site because it expired, and I needed one for tomorrow as well. It was a super quick process. Monday morning at the show's opening, it was very crowded. There were lines of people lined up to take their tests, but I've been over there several times since, and there hasn't been hardly any lines. They have 80 stations set up to take the test, and you get your results within 15 minutes. You get an email, and it's automatically uploaded to your digital badge.
So I know you had the pleasure, Danica, of speaking to the CEO of GSMA, who are the organisation that put on Mobile World Congress. So that's John Hoffman. Just bring to life some of the things that you discussed with John.
Sure. I mean, one of the things that he was telling me after talking about testing, we talked about the fact that it costs 15 euros for each person to get tested with the on-site medical partner that they are using. But that cost has been subsidized by the show organizer. So, they wanted to offset the cost of the testing as well. So that was one of the things that they did in their budget to just make sure that everybody felt safe and comfortable that is in here knows that that everyone is tested negative. So that was an important piece. I think he is thrilled. The show has been, it's open. I mean, even just that is incredible, right? In Spain, it just now is reopening here. This is the first week with no masks outdoors at all. The beaches were crowded. The people are back out in the street again. But, just a few weeks ago, hotels and restaurants, a lot of them weren't even open.
So obviously, Mobile World Congress was one of the first shows to be pulled. COVID hit around March last year. So I guess obviously it's been a very challenging time. Did John give you a sense of, the discussions that he'd been having with the government and the local authorities to make sure the event could happen? And if so, can you bring those to light?
Yeah, he's worked really closely with the building, and the building really, was instrumental in helping. It really was about the partnership. They could not have done it without government support for the show. And they, again, like I said, they gave them assurances that, that they would be able to open. And one of the things the other thing that he mentioned that I think is really important is if you look at the keynote speaker list, there are CEOs from all of the major companies that are here. There's some that are virtual. Elon Musk did a virtual keynote yesterday, but there are many C-level executives here on site doing the keynote. So I think that really says something about, kind of where we're at and the value of Mobile World Congress. Absolutely.
And you also had a discussion with Stephanie Lynch, who's the Chief Marketing Officer of the GSMA. What was Stephanie telling you? I guess as someone that's responsible for marketing, obviously getting people to the event, she must be delighted that it's here and open.
Yes, she was for sure. So she started at GSMA just before the pandemic. So she did not even have a show under her belt So, definitely a challenging time. She said that their budgets and staffs were cut by 40% immediately after that cancellation in 2019. So, it's been a tough time for the association as well, and to ramp up and to just have this open has been wonderful. She talked a lot about communicating the health and safety plan as part of marketing, and how important that has been, and how important LinkedIn as a channel has been for them. They did pivot to virtual events during the pandemic, like everyone else. And one key critical thing that is of note is they had 50% new attendees on those virtual platforms. So that really opened up their database, just got even richer. And so, they gained a lot of traction with their new audiences.
Okay, so Danica Tormohlen on assignment for SISO and UFI, live from the Mobile World Congress in Barcelona. Thank you so much for your time. You're doing a great job bringing us all the news and the interviews from the event. So enjoy the rest of your stay.
Thank you so much, Dan. One more day and we'll be done, but it's been a great show so far. So thank you.